I'm going to go ahead with the meeting beginning ritual.
起立，面向佛堂，参加三鞠躬、一鞠躬、再鞠躬、三鞠躬，参加各位点传是一鞠躬，开班一鞠躬，请坐下。Please be seated. If the Tao has no emotions, then where does emotions come from? Is Tao not the source? Okay, so here we're assuming that for something to exist, like has to come from like. So we know we have emotions. So if we are claiming the Tao as the source of our own consciousness, which includes emotions, then wouldn't there logically be emotion in the Tao as well? And I think you will probably agree. Yeah, sounds good. Okay. So how come the Tao has no emotions? Isn't that a contradiction? So first of all, the Tao is indeed a source, and we make that statement only because we do it the other way around. What we're saying is that the entire universe seems to be engaged in a continuous process of never-ending creation. That's going on all the time. Therefore, the way of the universe is the source of creation, is to serve as a source of universal creation. So whatever that is, that's the source. We have a name for that. We just pin the label on it called the Tao. So that's how I can say the Tao is indeed the source. And the second point is the more important one. The source of creation need not possess the qualities or attributes of that which is created. So this is not going to make a whole lot of sense initially because the other statement seems to make more sense. Like, in order for a newborn baby to exist at all, it has to come from parents who themselves used to be newborns, who used to be babies. So human beings give birth to babies. Dogs give birth to pups. Cats give birth to kittens, and so on. Something has to come from something else that's like it, that has the attributes. Like comes from like. That seems to make sense. Well, when we look closer at the world, when we contemplate the different possibilities out there, we discover that indeed it's not always the case. So let me bring up a couple of bullets and we'll talk about this. Let me do the last one first. The ancients used to think that there must be a small copy of a tree inside the seed of the tree. That is, when you plant the seed in the ground, the tiny copy of the big tree will grow up, will shoot out of the seed and develop into a full-size copy of the tree. Okay, today, in modern times, we know that's not the case. If you were to take seeds, any seed of any plant, and you were to cut that apart, you get, well, nothing. You get the material for the seed. You get not a tiny copy of the plant. We all know this. So, where does the plant, the tree or flower, where does that come from? Well, it's all in the information that's encoded in the genetics of the plant. So, it's information, not a small copy of it. So now we know that it seems to come from nowhere. Like there was a time when the earth had no plants at all. Shortly after the formation of the earth, there were no plants whatsoever. Somehow, plants came to be. So it's not even seeds anymore. It has its origin somehow. How did it come about? Well, it seems to come from nothing. So the other example, human beings are able to create artificial intelligence that surpass humans. We see this in very specific areas of life. So for a while, I talked about the the chess champions, human chess champions, no longer a match for computer opponents. And more recently, Go champion, a game that human beings are supposed to be the best at, no longer the best against a machine. Machines have demonstrated the ability. This is, by the way, from Google. Google has been researching artificial intelligence for quite some time. So they created something that was better than any human at playing the game of Go. How could that be? How could it be that it develops the skills that don't even exist in human beings? Well, I can tell you that I have personal experience with something like this, creating something from nothing. So in college, one of the projects that I had as a major in computer science was to create a program for playing a certain game. So it was a simplified version of chess. So what I did was that I evaluated the board at every level, and then I rounded up all the possible moves from that board position, and then I evaluate all of those. So the boards that show a favorable outcome to the computer player would pass on those values to be decided on, to be compared with other values. So the best board position would be the move that the computer opponent would make. So I gotta tell you, when it looks beyond a certain number of moves, it quickly surpassed my own ability to play that game. So then I could easily see that, I wasn't such a great chess player, but I could create a program that was much better at it than I could ever be. So what about emotions in human beings? Well, the Tao that non-human intelligence somehow gives rise to human intelligence because of the information encoded in our DNA. And part of the human mind is the emotional response that helps us survive and thrive in a hostile environment. So it all seems to come out of nowhere and nothing. So that's why we say the Tao is empty, and yet it contains everything. So it's sort of mind-blowing, but we have to let go of the of the old-fashioned notion that like has to come from like. Not necessarily true. Let's go ahead and do the meeting ending ritual, everybody. 起立，面向佛堂，持架深鞠躬，一鞠躬，再鞠躬，三鞠躬，持架各位顶传十一鞠躬，斜翻一鞠躬。Well done, everybody. Thank you so much.